Hey, 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 Happy New Year, y'all. Because literally,
at the time of this recording,
today is January 1st, and I know I took another break. Man, the end of 2025 it became really wild emotionally. Like, there's a lot of change coming up in my life, and it's kind of like the way that I navigate change is if major things are changing in my life that I can't control, then I start questioning everything. Like, man, we're moving, we're not renewing our lease, so it's not anything crazy like that. We knew going into this that we'd only be here a year. And as we approached the time for that, it started making me question, like, okay, well, am I going to change my job? Should I just move out of town? Like, it was kind of wild for a little bit there, but I kind of reined my emotions in and am like, okay, I'm just going to move. And there are other things that are changing, like at work and stuff like that. Nothing bad, all good, but change just is interesting to navigate for me. I feel like we all struggle with change, but for me, it's like when a lot of change is happening at the same time, it just becomes a bit much. And then here's the thing with me too, is it takes me a while to just even get comfortable with things. And it's so funny that I've been in this place where we're living for 10 months and I really literally just made some changes to make it more comfortable for me. Like, I moved my TV out of the living room just into my room because I felt like I didn't really have a space that was mine with it being in the living room. You know, I share a place right now with my daughter and grandson, and it's been great, but there are times after a lot of peopling with work that I kind of want to just be by myself. And if I wanted to watch TV and I'm in the living room, you know, my grandson, oh, Nana, or people just, you know, it's kind of like a more common area of the house. So just that little tweak and then rearranging where I had the recliner in my room, it's like, oh, now I'm comfortable here and I'm about to move. And that's like a weird kind of like trend I've noticed where once I get comfortable with something, sometimes with a person or a situation or whatever, it's like then things change. And I've realized as I've been doing a lot of thinking about upcoming change, because change just makes me reflect on everything. Then also we're off from basically Christmas through this Saturday, the 3rd, is when we're officially supposed to plug back in. But I have chosen to like do different things over the break and then like take intentional time where I'm not doing anything. So it's been this interesting balance. And with that, it's kind of like the jobs that I've had for the past however long have been where I have more time off after Christmas or around that time. So I've noticed every year around this time, I just start getting super reflective because it's slower and I have less to distract me. And so I've just been doing a lot of thinking about kind of like, what do I want to be different in this new year? I'm not really a New Year's resolution type person, but I am there are different checkpoints. One is at the beginning of the year, the calendar year, and then the other checkpoint is around my birthday, because for me, that's technically my like new year because that's when I was born. So those are the two checkpoints where naturally I start just kind of assessing things and thinking, okay, what in this last either calendar year or year of life do I want to keep? Do I want to change? What do I want to not carry with me into this new season? And so that's kind of like where I've been. And, you know, amidst that, like I said, change just makes me question everything. And it just became a lot. I've done a lot of crying part of that is probably just perimenopause has my emotions more heightened, I guess. There's a lot that I've been trying to do, though, naturally to navigate that. A lot of it is strength training and like how I eat, because I notice when I eat too crazy or whatever, that throws my hormones out of whack. Or if I'm not getting enough sleep, or if I'm not drinking enough water, just all these different things. And so, cool thing is I am down 16 pounds. Yeah, so y'all know I've been on this Snatch 40s journey for a minute, and shout out to Eric. He's kind of helped me, I think I said this before, dial it in on the nutrition side of things. And so that was kind of like the missing piece, because I've been doing CrossFit for 2 years. So working out was not the issue. Even when I like slack, what I've noticed, like there was a month where I was like sick every other week, tons of migraines. So I did not work out at all, not even like staff workout. And then when I finally got back to it, it's like that muscle memory, but also what I've heard is so with cardio, you kind of can condition and have improvements in that area quicker, but you also lose it quicker if you kind of like get off track. Whereas with strength training, it's a slower progression. However, it's also slower for you to lose it if you get off track. I just had that conversation with someone recently. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this new year. I'll be moving into my own place, like just me. So that'll be different. It's interesting how at one point I was going to try to do that before, but I could see why that was not the time, because if I would have been locked into that, I wouldn't have been able to then have this year of having a place with my daughter and just all that stuff that was needed. And so, yeah, it'll be really, really different. But I've been thinking about kind of like with the pod, what do I want to change? What do I want to be different? What do I want to bring back that I haven't done in a while, or just whatever? I've just kind of been really reflective. If you're not aware, I did start a second podcast with Eric. I think the link is in the show notes. And basically it's just, we talk a lot about just relationships and stuff like that, just from a man and a woman's perspective. So it's interesting because that show, because I'm recording with someone else and there's like accountability there, I have been dropping episodes of that. But with this show, because it's about tapping into how I'm trying to grow my feelings, my whatever, I've noticed that, and this has only been in the past few years, but I've noticed that when my emotions or whatever is too much that I don't want to talk about it, I've noticed that's when I will like not drop episodes, because like I always say, I can only give y'all what I have. And then if I don't want to talk about it, then I'm not going to do anything. So some people may have thought that I was done, and it's never was that I was done. It's just also we were like hella busy with work. So then there's that too, because like I said, when you have a show with someone, there's accountability on, okay, we have this day that we record, I'm accountable to you. Whereas with myself, I'm not really I'm only accountable to myself. So like if I choose to not record, it is what it is. One thing I will be bringing back though is visuals. I don't even know why I haven't done it recently. I'm not going to do it yet. And I will say it has been really nice not having to think about that. It is nice, even though like I'm fully dressed, hair done currently, but it has been nice to not have to worry about looking at a camera or just all these things. But it is something that I do kind of miss though. And I want to start having guests again. I haven't had a guest on this show in forever. And I've been listening to like some of my pod homies shows more recently, and even being inspired by different types of content. And yeah, I feel like it's been a season of me just only worrying about just, okay, am I going to get an episode out or not? And there's been a lot that's happened, you know, with my dad passing and just grieving and just the different life changes. Like I was kind of like cleaning out my voicemails recently, and I didn't delete these, but I found the voicemails from when the nursing home called me to let me know that he had passed away. And the crazy thing is that was like 17 months ago, a little over that. But I feel like I've lived like 3 different lives since then, just because there's been so much different change since then. And so it's been really, really interesting. That's one thing life is going to do, is continue to move forward. There's going to be continued to have, what am I saying? There's going to be continued growth opportunities, and you can either embrace them and allow them to shape you more into who you need to be, or also expose who's already there, or you can fight against it. And I can definitely say in some areas of my life, I've been like fighting against things, and I really just had a conversation with the Lord. If it wasn't last night, it might have been this morning, where I was just like, okay, I know I have not wanted to really put roots in this particular area of my life, but I know it's what I'm supposed to do for such a time as this. So just help me to have a better attitude about it, and just help me to do it, because this is obviously, one, you've equipped me to do it, but 2, this is all obviously the season you have me in right now. So I need to just embrace it. So yeah, that's kind of how the past couple months have been, because it's been almost 2 months, or it's been about a month and a half since I dropped an episode on this platform. But like I said, you know, as I think about like, what do I want this show to be in 2026 and beyond? Because in all areas of my life, I'm like, okay, what do I need to change? What is working that I just need to continue to do or do more of? Like, that's just how I naturally, I mean, in general, I'm someone who thinks like that pretty consistently anyway. But I will say there are 2, like I said, those major touch points, and we're kind of right there right now. And yeah, I want to have guests. I also, I want to be more consistent, but I don't know, because I even thought about, should I go bi-weekly? Should I go, I don't know, but I really don't want to do that. I really just want to get back to my consistent weekly rhythm. And so maybe during this break, I can batch record a few things, maybe. We'll see, because that's kind of how I started, and that allowed me to kind of be ahead. And I do have a little bit more time right now, so we'll see, because I say that right now. But yeah, so yeah, and as you can see too, like the intro song is a little bit different. I did that myself, and just kind of, it's the same on YouTube for right now. At least I say that now as I'm recording this. It might be different on YouTube, whatever, but I just wanted it to be shorter and have it to be where it's quicker for y'all to get to the content than listening to such a lengthy intro. But I wanted to keep the core part of it still there. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is basically where we're at right now. Happy New Year. I really hope and pray that everyone under the sound of my voice, whatever expectations you have for this year, and I'm hoping this for myself, that the Lord exceeds those expectations and really just kind of shows you that he sees you and he's with you. And if there are things in your life that like you've been waiting for, I pray those things, like you see the manifestation of answered prayer, and also that you even get a glimpse of like he was with you the whole time, and maybe even why you had to wait or whatever. So I love y'all so much. As always, take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Be healthy in your relationships, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.